when I first moved out here, and I was going to the new teacher institutes and all that, and I told people I was going to Parkview, I immediately got the typical reaction that unfortunately most of them have, which is a negative connotation.
Quite frankly, when I first moved down to this area and I was going through teacher orientation, a lot of the other teachers were like, "Oh no, Parkview, that's the ghetto, that's real tough, that's a bad area. I mean, like, good luck." And so coming into it,
my friends, family, everybody was like, "You're crazy, what are you doing going from this school to Parkview?" And there was, my friends were asking like if I was gonna take self-defense classes and all this stuff. And I'll be honest, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know, am I ready for this? Not only was it high school, but it was Parkview. And I was totally...
These two other people walk into their competition room and they're like, "Oh, this place is a dump," and like just completely bashing Parkview to me and my friend Michael French. And then they immediately go, "Yeah, where do you guys come from anyway?" And we're like, "We're from here."
I think everybody talks about, negatives that go along. Negatives are what people focus on from around here. But the thing is that I've seen is that, those things go on everywhere throughout the world. That's not something that's just exclusive to Sterling. It's the same battles and struggles and things that all teenagers everywhere go through. It's not like there's some plague in Sterling that everywhere else is immune to. It's just something that happens and things that teenagers go through that, they learn from and become stronger and better people for. And I think that's what it's all about,
I think with Sterling Park, people tend to, say someone gets stabbed, everyone's like, "Oh, well, that's Sterling Park, they're ghetto." If somebody gets stabbed in Ashburn, it's just like, "Oh, it's a stabbing," it happens everywhere, So I think, just because this, we're not as kind of rich and lavish as Ashburn, people tend to just kind of have that perception, as ghetto, and then it's kind of like in psych there's a self-serving bias where you only look for things that support you, how you feel about something. So if people look at Sterling Park as a ghetto place, a ghetto community, we don't have money, we don't have this, we don't have that, then a stabbing happens, and oh, well, of course, it's a ghetto. And it's just kind of, I feel like a lot of people do that, when in reality, it happens everywhere, and it's not,
Yeah, I don't understand why, people from other areas in the county or, the state feel like there's some ghetto dump or anything. It's just, the ignorance is, mind-blowing. It's not like we have metal detectors when you walk in, or there's dogs sniffing for drugs every week. It's just, Parkview feels more real because, kids who go there, been there, we all have different struggles and, different things to deal with, but we don't let it get to us, We're all proud to be here, we know who we are, and that's all that's important, The opinions of others aren't going to change that. They never will, so.
Okay, so this is something that I find frustrating, and I've said out loud many times, both as a parent. I've also always been very involved with the PTA at the schools my children attend, and I think what I've truly found, I'll just put it out there, it's annoying, mostly because it's wrong, is that the Sterling community isn't as good as the other communities. And that's just not accurate. It's different. It's diverse. It is full of culture. It is full of all kinds of people that are different, and that doesn't make it worse.
One thing I have found is people who talk about our school and our community most of the time have never been to our school or our community. So that always makes me suspect when people talk about what they don't know about. I hear things that exactly what you kids hear. That your school isn't as good as the other schools, that I've heard us referred to as the ghetto school. That one always makes me laugh. I've heard us referred to as the poor school.
And
if you come and visit the school and the students on a regular basis, one of the things you learn very quickly is that the diversity and student body at Parkview and in Sterling Park not only is great and brings wealth to this community, but for example, the faculty and staff at Parkview High School and the parents at Parkview High School and the students at Parkview High School mesh together in a sort of learning community so well that it boggles your mind how these negative stereotypes can, as they pop up periodically, can pop up.
Here at Parkview, one of the things that I greatly enjoy is when I see kids from all different types of, there isn't a great range of socioeconomic status, but there's a huge diversity in ethnicity, and you don't go into the cafeteria and see, okay, there's the El Salvadorian kids, and there's the Indian kids, and here's, the Vietnamese. It's just, you see a mixture all the time, and I really like that there's a cultural melting pot in Parkview, sort of a Statue of Liberty, that melting pot type thing. So.
Yo vine acá cuando todavía era una adolescente. El cambio es muy drástico porque no solo vienes a un nuevo país que no es tuyo, sino que no hablas el idioma, no tienes amigos, extraña todo lo que has dejado atrás. No solo tu colegio, tus amigos, la comida, la familia, lo más importante, la familia. Sí.
It was just so hard because I had to catch up with the English and all the other stuff that we're doing. I tried really hard for the first 2 years, because I had to work extra hard to get out of the ESL classes and everything. But I had a huge struggle, and that was the most challenging part of my life, moving from another country to here.
I take teacher cadet, and then we talk about barriers and different high schools and stuff. And I keep on hearing stories about if I went to let's say a different school in Texas or something, I would probably have gotten bullied for wearing my scarf. But at Parkview, nobody sees that as different thing. It's just everybody accepts you for who you are, basically.
My dad, I know, came here. He kind of started from scratch, and now he's a professor, and so he's always stressing the value of education. That's been something that's been stressed in my house. My whole life is education, and the importance of it, the value of it. He came here, I think, for his studies. He was doing, I think, his master's here, and he always tells me stories about when he was in college. He was he didn't have much money. He had to, I think, sleep in one of his friends' rooms, and so it was really tough. And he told me all these stories about him working in a kitchen, and it being tough there, but he had to do what he had to do to get money in order to support himself.
Yeah, my dad came here 6 months before me and my mom and my brother came, and he started working 2 jobs and everything, trying to get settled down. He finally got a house. It wasn't a big house, it was a small house, but it was good enough for all 4 of us. And then 6 months later, she was able to bring us here. And since then, we've moved. We have now a nice house. I love my home. Mm-hmm. It's filled with a lot of care and love.
I feel it's very important to be exposed to different other races other than just the one you are yourself. Mm-hmm. It's going to prepare you for later on in life, because you're not just going to be around one race throughout the rest of your life. You're going to be exposed to all different kinds of people. So I feel that if you go to a school like Parkview, a very close-knit group, I feel that's going to prepare you on for the rest of your life with anything you're going to experience.
There are students in Parkview High School that are willing to try something that they have never done before. Mm-hmm. And you don't get that in a lot of the other schools in the county. Students want to stick to what they're familiar with doing. If we did that, Parkview High School wouldn't have a very big football team. It probably wouldn't be big in soccer, but we have a lot of students that try out and go out for football and go out for a lot of the sports that are more popular in some of the other high schools, but we always get a good turnout.
Well, the PEER program here at Parkview, it stands for Positive Experiences in Educational Relationships. And what we do is we take high schoolers to the elementary schools and to the middle school, and they serve as big brothers, big sisters. It's a mentoring, tutoring program. It really touches on a lot of areas that elementary school students might be struggling with, whether they're having problems at home. We train our high schoolers to go work with the kids there. Maybe they're having trouble in class. Either the kids are a bully or they are victims of bullying, and our high school kids help them with coping skills. And compared to the other schools we have, well, this year, let's see, we had over 70 applicants, but we only had 32 positions available. So that tells you right there how much the program is growing and how much Parkview students want to be involved in their community. The kids don't get a credit for the class. It's completely giving of their own personal time.
There's a lot of parent programs, even here at Guilford. We have coffee hour for parents on the last Friday of every month. The parents come, they want to know how to help their children do their best in school. They want to help their children succeed. They want to learn techniques for teaching their children at home, which is really great. So we have coffee hour, we have a parent liaison who teaches our parents English during the week. We have a pet program, which I'm sure is in many schools within the county.
I love how helpful everyone is. Students, staff, if someone needs something, whether it's a coat or a few dollars for lunch or some information to figure out, I'm looking for a scholarship or a job or whatever. If you have the courage to voice what it is that you need, there are people that will find ways to either themselves step up and make it happen for you or to tap into the resources that they're aware of.
As officers, we usually come in here, we're early every day around at least 8:15, trying to work on whatever we can to get stuff ready for whatever Spirit Week we have, senior events that are coming up, and all kinds of other things like that.
We just did our senior hallway, which we spent a lot of hours on throughout the entire senior Spirit Week. And we would come in every morning and make things, and then we stayed after school really late to help put things up and just organize it all.
My personal heroes, yeah, definitely my parents, because they both work 2 jobs just to try to support everyone, and they helped me go to Germany and everything, so yeah, it's a pretty good experience, and I hope someday that I can at least be like that.
I gotta go teachers, just because they're the ones helping me out and making me, who I am, so.
I want to say Dr. Minshew. She really helps facilitate that community feel. And if we didn't have a principal that facilitated that, that wouldn't be possible.
I agree with that. I mean, Dr. Minshew has made it possible. She's the one who's hired and gathered all of the teachers here to try and make a difference, and that really sets the tone for what we're able to accomplish here.
A lot of the students here at Parkview are my hero. I can't imagine working 30 hours a week, coming to school, taking AP classes, having to help my little brother or sister get up in the morning and get ready for school, get myself up and ready for school, come to school, be a productive student, like I said, taking AP academic classes, participating in sports, I mean, and then on top of it, like I said before, working. I don't know how some of the kids here do it. And they come in with a smile, they go through their day, they volunteer in things like the PEER program. It's amazing to me. So a lot.
I think that, people are going to believe what they want to believe. And I think that people who say things when they don't know anything about what they're talking about, I can't put a muzzle on them. I wish I could, but I can't. I think that part of it is that we know the truth. And how to get that truth out to everybody else is a question I think we all struggle with.
I think that the Sterling Park community is very unique. I would like to see the Sterling Park community as a model for the state. And I say that because this community has a little bit of everything that we need as a school system to learn from. I've really few of those.
Yeah. And what would you say to the people who give you those, like, oh, you work at Sterling Park? What would you tell them?
Well, first of all, I was surprised. I didn't expect that reaction. I would tell them, come into the school, see what's going on here. It's just really amazing. The students are still well behaved. As in general, our students here at Guilford are well behaved students, and I think in general the kids here, they have good morals that are taught at home. Their parents care. They work hard to help us help the children. So I would say come in and see what we're doing here at Guilford and at all the schools in Sterling Park, because there's some positive, wonderful things taking place, and I think you have to experience that in order to really understand what we're all about.
If I were to talk to some of the teachers I went through orientation with, and then some of the people who work there, I would say obviously you've never been to Parkview, and maybe that you should come out of your ivory tower and stop casting stones of despair and get a chance to meet these kids. I mean, they're not the rich, preppy white kids that mommy and daddy take care of everything for them. They are actually kids who want to learn and come in and put in an honest day's effort and really have a true passion for what they do. These kids aren't here to get into college because mommy and daddy are going to pay for it. These kids are here to better themselves and to better their lives, and not for somebody else but for themselves. And I'd say those teachers need to spend a couple minutes in this school and find out what it's all about.
I would just say to anybody, let's go visit the View, let's go visit the park, because you'll see that it's really not that way. Now there may be incidents or things that happen at Parkview or in the park. That's anywhere, Ashburn or Purcellville or wherever, and while those are unfortunate, this community really is no different in the sense of its greatness.
I think this hallway just kind of goes to show how how much pride students take in our school and making it look. I mean, this is incredible. I don't know how many other schools you can go to and walk in and see this.
And plus, really nice to see. Having the name Patriot, being the Parkview Patriots, that's something that you have to kind of live up to, because that's in American history. That's something that's always been connotated with feelings of respect, and that's kind of, I guess, in a way, what we try to live up to here. Being people that have tremendous honor and pride for what they do, and walk through these doors every day, and on some level love what we do. Even going to classes and homework and all those things.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
It's still something we all love because we're a family here, and everybody here, no matter what, has respect for each and every person walking down these hallways.